When you're given an opportunity like that, it's like the amount of things that you have to juggle. The expectation goes from here to here.
Nobody's gonna ever outdo me because my obsessiveness to thrive and win is different.
I just have this fire, this desire to be successful. Like, I'm obsessed with what I do.
How you doing? I want to welcome you to the Content Aesthetic Show, where we have different medical providers, different aesthetic professionals come on and share their stories so they can keep impacting you so you can keep thriving in your community. And on today's episode, we have Brandi Milton. How are you?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here today.
I'm thankful to have you.
Thank you so much.
Before we get started,
Yeah.
I want to know how you use your business to make a difference in your community.
Okay, great. Amazing question. All right. So I own a aesthetics and wellness practice in Buckhead here in Atlanta. I've been a family nurse practitioner for the last 13 years, worked in all different specialties. I'm also a psychiatric and mental health nurse practitioner. So what I've done is taken my experience, medical background, and kind of poured it into my practice. So the most important thing that drives me, that fuels me as an aesthetic provider, as a nurse practitioner, is helping my patients feel better about themselves. Like, that's my motto. That's what myself, my team, that's what we strive for every single day. So not only of course, I do the aesthetic side. I inject people, make them feel better on the outside, but we also focus on the inside. So it's a holistic treatment plan. We make sure that we cover them every aspect of their journey, and we're their support system, and ultimately we become their family.
Where did this start from? Like, let's take it back to the younger you. Like, did you always say, hey, I want to be a nurse? Like, what happened?
So I always wanted to go into the medical profession, but I never knew exactly what that meant. So throughout high school, I always did little things in the medical field. I went to college. I went to UNC Chapel Hill, which is a big school for anything medical, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, do I want to be a dentist? Do I want to be a doctor? Do I want to be a nurse? I couldn't figure it out. So at Carolina, I actually finished all my requirements for med school. And then I was like, I don't really want to do this. It was like senior year. I was like, I don't want to do this. So what do I want to do? So I shadowed a nurse practitioner, and I kind of fell in love. I fell in love with you can still do the medical end, but at the time I was short-sighted. I didn't want to go to school for the next 8 years. Hindsight, I've been in school for 8 years since then. So it's like, I should have just did it. But I love what I do. I love providing care for patients, taking care of patients, just making them feel better, enriching their lives. And my biggest strong suit, honestly, is my connection that I have with my patients.
I love that. And so it gotta stimulate from somewhere. Like as a little kid, like, did something happen and you like, man, I love how this person took care of this person, or this, or prevented, like.
Honestly, no.
What?
No, it was, well, actually, no, let me not say that. My grandmother was a nurse. So she was always, in our family, we had a huge family. She always was the nurturer. Like, you would see her working hard. And back in that time, like, nursing, especially, her being an African-American woman in that time, like, it was a big deal for her to be in that industry. So actually, hindsight, look at you making me think about my childhood. Yeah, that's where I first saw that. And that's always been me as a person. I'm a natural nurturer. Like, I want to improve other people. I like to pour into other people. I like people to pour into me too.
I think that's the biggest thing. And the reason why I ask that is because it's like, when you see somebody that had a childhood vision of it, it had to come from somewhere. And just to have your grandma show you the standard.
Absolutely.
I think it's everything. So it's like, when you came in, it's like, I'm not coming to play because I already know what it looks like to be looked at and treated as a certain standard. And I think that's big.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then one thing about my parents as well, my parents were working class, like parents. Like, I don't come from a lot of money. Myself, as well as my husband, we're the first in our immediate family to graduate from college. So, but they poured into me. So they made sure that I had everything that I need. It didn't have to be necessarily from a financial standpoint, but they equipped me with what I needed to be a good person, to strive for excellence, to never settle. So I think that's kind of what's built me and created the character that I have today.
I love that. So what was that transition like when you like, okay, I'm about to leave this hospital side and go into aesthetics.
So that's the crazy part. So I never, like, honestly, aesthetics was never my thought. Yeah. So as a nurse practitioner, I worked in neurology, interventional pain, interventional radiology. I've kind of worked in every facet. Aesthetics wasn't it, but I've always been a proceduralist. So I've always done procedures in and out of the hospital. And what happened is during COVID, my husband and I found out we were having twins unexpectedly. We already had 2 children. So we went from 2 to 4 kids overnight.
Hold on, I got 2 kids now. And that is hard because these are 2 different people. Mm-hmm. How were y'all to go from 2 to 4, like mentally?
Like, we're still working through it, and we're almost 4 years later. So it was life changing. But honestly, like, at the time, we're like, okay, God, like, we don't know what the plan is, but we know you have a plan for our lives. But it was probably the hardest period of time that we've ever been through, because it completely changed every aspect of our life. We had to adjust everything. And then, so I was in the hospital. I'm like, okay, I can't continue these hours. I now have 4 little kids. So my kids are 8, 5, and I have 2 3-year-olds. So they're little. So I was like, I can't do this. So sat down with my husband, and him being the amazing man that he is, he pretty much said, if this is your goal, this is your dream, like, let's do it. I'm going to support you. Everybody didn't have that support. So I'm blessed to have that. So he allowed me to go out there, start my own business, start contracting myself out even before the med spa. So I started doing procedures, working with doctors, doing different things. And then an opportunity came about for the med spa. And it was just a blessing from God. It was organic. And that's kind of how it happened.
Now, I know before we got started, I was talking about mindset. Going from the hospital to the aesthetic practice, how was your mindset? Going from, let's say, employee mindset to owner mindset. Mm-hmm.
So there's no preparation for that, right? It's no amount of schooling. It's no amount of like shadowing on the job training. Like, you have to do it. And I have so many people that reach out to me like on a daily basis, like, oh, I want to do what you do. I love what you're doing. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't see what I go through every day. Mm-hmm. So I work more hours than I've ever worked in my life. Yeah. It never stops from the time that I wake up throughout the day. Once I put my kids down, all night, I dream about what I do. So it never ends. And like, I can't even put into words how hard it is, but it's so fulfilling. I would never trade it for anything to go back to working for someone else, because no matter how hard you work, it just fuels you. You have that pride. You have that, like, I did this. We did this. Like, you feel accomplished. So
how is it important for you that your kids don't see you ever give up?
Oh, it's it's more important than anything. So my husband and I, our goal is to raise good little human beings, right? That's our goal. So we try to pour into them and make them the best individuals and humans that they can be, especially in this crazy world. But it's so important because we've had so many adversities over the last 4 years. Like, anybody else in my situation likely would have given up. But I'm not built like that. We're not built like that. And I just have this fire, this desire to be successful. Like, I'm obsessed with what I do. Yeah. Like, that's the only way to be successful, right? Yeah. You have to be obsessed. You have to pour everything into it. And the sad part is, unfortunately, it's hard to balance. Like, people like, oh, can I have it all? Like, something is gonna have to, be put to the side. And so that's what's so hard as a mom, as a business owner, as a wife, as an entrepreneur, like trying to find that balance where everybody gets a little bit of my time, but we're still thriving and have a successful business,
I love that. And the word you said was obsessed, right? Mm-hmm. I am extremely obsessed with what I do. Mm-hmm. I remember one time we was dealing with mortgage lenders and stuff and doing content for them, right? Yeah. And I wanted to better know their back end system. So what I did was I did a 2-day intensive where to go get my state license to be a mortgage loan originator. I took the test 3 days later. Nice. Never to use the license, just to know how to better help my clients with the wording. And so I tell people like this, I'm obsessed. Yep. Nobody's going to ever outdo me because my obsessiveness to thrive and win is different, right? Because I already know I'm sacrificed. Like I'm 13, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be the one to change my family. And so it's like, you telling me I got to do this? I've been through way worse. I'm from Chicago. Yeah. So it's like, I've been way worse. This easy. This easy. It's a little sweeter.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like just dominate.
Yep.
You know. And so when I heard that word obsessed, I was like, yeah. You know, it sometimes be a gift and a curse because it's like, man, you don't stop. Yeah. It's like, hey, you don't sleep.
Yep.
You know,
I don't know what sleep is anymore, but
I didn't realize at one point my physician had to tell me I was sleep deprived. Yeah. I didn't know that.
It's not good for your health.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
But
I was trained always. Like, I'm staying up doing what I got to do. And then it was just like, I got a little older, just got in my 30s. And I'm like, I think my testosterone level's low. He said, nah, all of the signs is, are you getting sleep?
Need to sleep. Yep.
I said, oh, big difference.
Yep.
And so now I'm balancing my time out a lot more. And it's like, I got more energy.
You feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to find that balance. That balance is so hard.
Yeah.
People ask me, like, how do you do it? I don't know how I do all of what I do.
It's no balance.
It's just the desire not to fail. It's the desire to, no matter the adversity, no matter what's going on, you want to win. Yeah. You want to be successful. Yes. You want to make your family proud. Yeah. Your children proud. A legacy for your children.
Yeah, that's so dope because my daughter name is Journey. And my son, he's 3, his name is Legacy. So we are on a journey to help people build their legacy.
I love it.
And that's why I tell people it's realer than like what they think. Like, you know. And so I love that. And so when you did get into aesthetics, did you start in like a suite? Did you start in commercial office? How was that?
So I was blessed in that sense. Yeah. So the first year, I actually, through a doctor that I had a great relationship with, he introduced me. I had a business partner. Yeah. So we started off business partner for the first year. I went straight into a like Class A commercial real estate in Buckhead. Not many people do that. I was blessed for that opportunity. Yeah. But when you're given an opportunity like that, it's like the amount of things that you have to juggle. The expectation goes from here to here, to staff. We had a full staff, front desk, like everything. Yeah. So I was blessed. I started at a great spot, had a business partner, did great. I learned a lot. But after that first year, I decided to end that business partnership. That wasn't the right situation for me. And at that point, it was like, okay, do I continue this or do I give up? And I'm like, this is me. I'm not giving up. Like, I'm not doing that. So pretty much I rebuilt my business the second year, same location, but new staff, new everything, rebranded. And it has flourished and it's doubled what the first business did.
I love that. When it comes to having a business partner, what would you think is the main thing you learned from that situation?
I learned before you go into business, you have to truly know the person that you are signing up. Because you can get into a partnership very easily. To get out of a partnership, it's not that easy. It's very expensive. It's expensive and it's a process. Yeah. So my number one, will I ever have another business partner in life? Probably not, other than my husband. Yeah. But I'll have partnerships. I'll have relationships. I'll have different things like that. But actually a legal partnership, probably not. You have to have two people that completely align in their purpose, their desire, their drive, what you're bringing to the business. And if you don't have that, if both of you aren't in sync, you're going to have resentment and it's not going to work. I
love it. Henry Ford said your best partner is your spouse.
Absolutely.
Your best business partner is your spouse.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't understand that, you know, and I love it.
Yeah.
Right. Like even for me, I do the front end and Gabby, that's my wife. She does all the back end, but she's systems, automations, marketing is her gift. Like she's the logical thinker, like her and her team. Logical. Me, I'm emotional. I'm the emotional connection, right? I make sure the clients connect to the consumer, right? And be seen like that. Yeah. Back end, that ain't my specialty. Yeah. I know that, though.
Yeah, me too.
Right, I know that.
You and I are aligned.
I know that, right?
My husband is the same. He's very high level. He's extremely organized. He's like visionary. All these things, and I'm like this, and he's like this. So we complement each other. Yeah. So it's a perfect partnership.
Yeah, and that's how you grow. And it's like, when it comes to finding partnerships, I think sometimes people be so quick to jump into opportunity and they don't realize, they're like, well, I got a partner. It's like in our culture, it's like just to brag. And it's like, no, it get deep. So for you, how was your mindset when that partnership ended and you had to reset, that 3 months or it was like, what was that like for you?
Yeah, let me tell you about those 3 months. So, I'm a nurse practitioner. So in my practice, how it was set up before, I pretty much do all the injecting.
Yeah.
I had estheticians to do the facial services, all the other things. I had a front desk person.
Yeah.
So during that transition period where I went from one business to the next, I literally did everything myself inside that business for 2 straight months. So I answered the phone, I injected, I did facials, I did microneedling, I did chemical peels, I did any kind of treatment that we previously offered. I did it all. And what I would say now, anybody that has their own business, especially if you employ other people, you should be able to do, if you're a medical provider, everything in your business. So now, no matter if somebody calls out, they had a death in the family, they're sick, I can do everything in my business. Do I want to do that? No. But will I step in and do it? Yes. Will anything stop? No. Will my clients love their experience and their results? Yes. So that's what I kind of learned. Like,
I love that. For you, when you reset and you had to get a new staff, how was that for you? Like, did you have to go get a loan? Did you have to front it? Like, what was that mindset like? Because I do see a lot of aesthetic professionals scared to hire, don't know how to hire. So can you break down that process?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So having employees and people that report to you is probably the hardest aspect of this business, right? Being a people manager, leading people. Hardest thing. That's another thing. You don't go to school to learn that. It's on the job training. So what I did was, I know the level of drive that I have. I know what I'm looking for in someone else. I feel like I had to learn that because oftentimes you'll interview and you'll meet people. Oh, that's the person.
Yeah.
Is that really the person? You really have to get to know them. You have to know what drives them, what motivates them, what is going to entice them to work as hard as you. And that's the hard part with hiring people. So with me, I just took it slow. I said, okay, let me find that first person that can really be a great complement to what I provide. Like someone that's going to be amazing with clients, somebody that's my clients are going to resonate with, and someone that is going to be on this journey with me. So that's where I started. I had hired with the second business. I hired my first esthetician. Now I have a second esthetician, have a front desk, and I have different people that help with other aspects of like marketing and things like that. So it's a process. It's not easy, but.
So what was that first hire like? So did you, like I told people, for me, when I first got started, my first hire, I used a credit card, right? And this was so long ago, right? I used a credit card to pay for their first year, half a year, so I can get started, right? And that it allowed me to scale. So what was that first employee like for you?
So first employee, I didn't have to borrow money to pay them or anything, because I inject, right? So I know if nothing else, I'm going to make a certain amount of money. So I was willing to work 3 times the hours that I normally work to be able to bring this person on, right? So I was able to sacrifice in that way. I think you have 2 options. You can go and just borrow, which I have done. Like it's 2 different philosophies. For me, I was like, okay, let me put in all the work. I'm going to grind so that I can bring this person on. And then I'm going to equip them with the knowledge and the skills and the expertise so that they can generate revenue and really bring a value to the business.
How did you know it was time to hire somebody?
when it was no way that I could personally do it myself. So I was at the point where it's no way I could continue answering phones and inject people and do all these other things. It's no way. And my business was starting to suffer a little bit because I'm one person. So you have to know that. So sometimes people are like, do I just want to do it all myself? Or do I want to, you have to pay the person. Do I want to relinquish some of that? And it's worth it. Like it's worth making a little bit less money so that you have some quality of life, right? And it makes you better. It makes you grow and it makes your business grow.
I love that you broke that down. And the reason why is because I hear so many aesthetic professionals be like, well, I don't trust nobody, or it costs to hire. And it's like, no, you just broke down, hey, if you got to work a couple extra hours, if you got to go do this, then do it so you can scale, because you cannot scale when it's just you.
Yeah. And basically you want to be able to ultimately, it depends on the goal. My goal at someday is to be able to step out of my business, right? I don't want everything to be solely dependent upon me. I want to be able to take a vacation. My business is still running and making money. I want to be able to go do other ventures. My business is still making money. So in order to get to that point, you have to relinquish some of that control, which is hard, because I'm that person that's like, oh, I'll just do it. I'll just do it. And I got to the point where I'm like, no, Brandi, you have to delegate. You have to learn how to let go, how to let other people help you, and it only makes you better. So that's what it was hard to learn that. But that's what I learned. And that's what's actually, I've seen such a difference in everything as far as the business goes since I was able to do that.
I love that. And that's really big, because what is the goal for you? Like, you want to have multi-franchise? You want to sell? What is the goal?
So that's what I'm figuring out. So I would like to, in 2025, I would like to open a second location. So I would like to have 2 locations here in Metro Atlanta. I don't know if franchising is necessarily the goal, but I would love to have 2 different locations so that we can really, provide our services to Metro Atlanta. Also, because I'm a psychiatric and mental health NP now, I'm going to start a mental health aspect of the business, because that's the side that in our healthcare industry that so many people need it, right? Even my aesthetic clients, like most of them, I have people that come to me because they want to improve something on the like their outward appearance.
That's the whole industry.
Yeah, when oftentimes if we dive deep and we start working on the internal them, like helping them help themselves, and we're able to identify, what is it? Why are you wanting me to do this? Like everybody wants to look pretty, right? But is there something deeper? So that's why I went into the mental health aspect, to be able to really treat the whole person.
Yeah, I love that. And the biggest thing I learned is it's always something deeper, right? So even when it comes to content, I help a lot of people break their shyness, but then I really figure out why it happens or where it came from. Like I spoke at an event probably like 2 weeks ago, right? And I brought almost 11 people to the stage.
Oh, nice.
And I broke all of their shyness in front of the whole audience. Everybody cried. I found out the deep root to why they believed that they were shy, right? Why they wasn't putting out content, why they wasn't serving, why they wasn't showing up all the way. So in front of every single person, all 11 people broke down.
That's cool. How'd you find that? Like, how were you able to pinpoint what that was in each person?
I just got a gift at this.
Okay.
I got a real gift at this. And I use it to serve.
I love it.
So it's content. I've been doing content since the age of 13. So I started as a graphic designer, then went to photographer, then went to film. So it's like, when it comes to somebody saying they shy, I don't believe it. It's not real, right? And it's always deep rooted into something. But what happens is you have to be vulnerable enough to relinquish that vulnerability so you can actually go to the next level. And so watch, like, the person who invented was, she called me, she DM'd me the other day, and she said, everybody is talking about your session. They nonstop, because most people don't know content is this deep. They look at it as a shallow thing. No, this is content, been around since the Egyptians, like hieroglyphics. That's how they communicate. That's how we still can see. It's like, it's not just a 2024, 2025 thing. No, this been around forever. If you want to connect to the consumers, you got to understand them. But most people don't understand them because they don't show up as their authentic self.
I love that.
And so I help them.
That.
Like, it be challenging now, but I'm not gonna let you give me basic.
I love that.
So it's like,
and it's hard. It's hard. Like, especially like me speaking as a medical professional. Like, you go to school to learn how to take care of patients. I diagnose. I write prescriptions. Do this stuff. But nobody teaches you how to do that component, right? How to be vulnerable. Like, how to. Because it's hard. You get in front of a camera and to tell your story and to really connect with people, it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
And so I feel like I'm getting better. I still have a lot of work to do.
It's lifelong
but I'm getting
learning.
better.
Like, you're going to forever get better, right? And I always tell people, like, the day you feel like you master something is the day you done growing.
Agreed. Agreed.
Like, so it's like I'm always
continual learning all the
lifelong.
time. I agree.
And that's the blessing of it. And reason I love y'all industry is because 9 out of 10 of people got into the industry actually to help people.
Yep.
To serve.
Yeah.
Now it's a 1% that just care about the money and they'll never make it.
No,
but
absolutely not.
You can tell. Like when we get those people, we don't work with them. We actually cancel them.
Agreed.
Right? Because in order to actually win and dominate, you have to be a servant leader. So you got to think about the people, not numbers.
Yep.
Right? If you serve the most people, I don't even got to ask you how much money you made. I already know.
Yeah.
Right? And so with all the other industries, we start to realize, because I was always pushing more content impact, more servant leaders. So I always help leaders go serve. That was always my goal, right? And so when we seen aesthetics, we was like, wow, most people been bedside for 13 years. They didn't even get in this movement. They got in this to really help people.
Right.
Now they got to run a business, but now they got to connect. You weren't taught to connect. Yeah. You was taught to serve and help. And so I feel we do best with the clients that are servant leaders. And I can, like on our initial calls with people, I can tell if they ain't servant leaders, I don't even give them no opportunity.
No, I agree 100%. Because in this industry, I agree. You have a few that just want it for the money, but it's not sustainable, right? Because when they have adversity, things like that, they're not going to stick it through, right?
And it's a commodity now, right? It's a med spa on every other corner.
I know, everywhere.
Yeah, and everybody's selling a thing, and everybody want to be the cheapest, and
it's hard.
It's like, yo, that ain't how you win.
Yep.
Right.
You got to find what sets yourself apart.
Yeah.
Like what makes you different from other people.
Really makes difference. Because sometimes it's like, well, I got great service. Everybody's saying that.
I know.
What the people see different in you.
Yep.
And most of the time, right now, let's say somebody say, oh, yeah, I sell semaglutide. But then you don't show who you are to the people. They can't connect to you. They're not coming to you because of the semaglutide. They're coming to you because, oh, Brandi, I love that you are a wife. I love that you got these 4 kids. I love that you balancing your business and doing all. That's why I'm coming to you. The other stuff is a bonus. You can help me with this. And a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head. Like, you are so right. I feel that when I'm actually myself and when I'm vulnerable, it's crazy. That's when I get the most like, oh, I went to come see you because of this, because of that. And I'm like, really? Yeah. It's just hard. It's hard being vulnerable and just putting yourself out there. But it's necessary.
It's hard.
You have to do it.
The more transparent you are, the more you connect.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, sometimes like some clients, they'll show up and I'm like, that's fake. We're going to do that shit again. Right? And they like, yo, like, okay.
Sound like an infomercial.
Yeah. Like, yo, you get in there and you turn on your corporate voice. No, I want the voice that happens when the camera's off. I want that voice, right? Because first of all, that white coat, you are already the most trusted and respected person on earth. They don't know the difference in between the ABCs. That white coat is the most trust in the world. We don't trust lawyers. We trust that white coat, right?
Yeah,
so
like, that's true.
So your
industries,
so the recommendation is everything.
I love that.
And so, but that's why it's like teaching our consumers, our customers, how to be confident in front of that camera, so they can go and save those people that they started this business to save. Otherwise, you just in business, and eventually it's gonna go down.
Agreed. Agreed. No, I love that. I love what you do. I love that. And I love that you're building confidence. Yeah. You're building people up. So that's what I do. Yeah. That's what I do from a medical standpoint, right? Yeah. So that same like passion and drive when I make people happy, when they walk out like, oh my God, I feel so good about myself. That's what you do.
The same thing, right? So how has content impacted your business? So
I'm new to content, but content has, in the last probably 6 months, has completely transformed my business. Every day I'm working to strive and do better. And I have somebody telling me, you need to film every day. I'm like, I'm trying. But it has drastically changed it. So most of my a lot of my clients are organic. I have a lot of referral clients. Of course, I have marketing clients. But lately, social media has sent me the most clients. Injectables, everything. The most, like, that's been my biggest revenue kind of referral source, has been social media.
It will always be. Always. I think the biggest thing that some aesthetic providers fail to realize is that it's like it take time to build. Yeah. So it's like it's an authority game, right? And so it's like some people think like, hey, if I put out an ad that people supposed to come, these leads supposed to buy. you ain't buying from people you don't trust.
Right.
So how can you expect them to buy from you? They don't trust you or know you yet.
Yeah.
First of all, if you look at the page, it's filled with flyers and not you. So it's like, yo, I don't even know who's behind this.
Yes, agreed.
So
and it's already that lack of trust I think people have. People are skeptical, right?
Yeah.
They're like, they want to know more, but you have to show them something that makes them buy into you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's worked for me lately.
Yes.
Like I said, I'm still a work in progress.
Yeah.
Trying to improve daily on that, but it's a game changer.
If you can shine light on one of your superpowers, what would it be and why?
I think one of my superpowers, if I'm just going to do from a professional standpoint, honestly, is my connection that I have with my patients.
Right.
I have a person that comes in, and this is the feedback that I have. I really spend time, and sometimes people want to rush. They want to rush you out. But my initial consultations, I spend time with my patients. I get to know my patients. We explore everything. And what that does is it builds that level of trust. So they trust me. Once your clients trust you and you build that relationship, you treat them like family, they know that you want the best for them. And it's not just about money.
Yeah.
That takes you to the next step. And I think that's what makes me thrive. Like I get excited about that relationship, connecting with patients.
I love that superpower. But one thing you did say, that's your business superpower. So what is your superpower?
I'm a caring person, right? I want the best for other people. I want other people to win. And I just feel like I'm a giving person. I just try to give of myself. So maybe that translates both professional and personal.
Yeah, I love that. If you can say one thing to a aesthetic professional that might be on the verge of giving up, I want you to look at this camera and I want you to say something to them.
Okay. Anyone who has, in this industry, has thought about giving up, right? You are not alone. But if this is what you truly want, this is what you strive for, this is what you dream about, this is what you've worked and poured everything into, don't give up. There's always a way to come out on the other side, right? But it does take hard work. It takes you putting everything that you have into it. And like I said before, you have to be obsessed. Be obsessed with this. If you are obsessed with it, you give it your all and you pull in the resources because there's always people to help you, right? It's you being smart and strategic and finding those resources and things that can help you. So don't give up. You've got this. Everyone's been in this situation. Everyone's been there. Like you can do it. You've got this.
I love that. And as a mother, as a wife, as a business owner, how do you find time to keep pouring into you?
At this current stage of my life, I'm last on that list.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm working for in 2025 is to be intentional about really, I give to so many people every day, all day, is really finding that time for myself and with my husband where we can really enjoy this life that we've built. Oftentimes we get so stuck into being successful and the grind and all of this stuff that life is short.
Yeah.
Right? Life is short. You have to enjoy life because you never know, how long you have here on this earth. So that's my goal for 2025 is to really set aside time, block my schedule and take time for myself, self-care days, take time with my husband, take time with my kids. And I think that that's going to make me a better person, make me more fulfilled and make me be able to give more to my clients and the business.
I love that. Well, Brandi, I want to thank you.
Thank you so much.
For coming today, for dropping gems, for keep pushing and having a vision at a young age and actually seeing that vision through. I think that's probably the hardest thing for people.
I agree.
Is to actually see that vision through.
I agree. And not to give up, right?
Not to give up.
Yep.
That word, it don't even exist in my world.
I love it.
It don't. Like, we're going to figure it out.
I love
That's
it.
how we're going to figure it out.
I love it. And that's what we got to teach our kids too, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, my daughter, she just turned 6 on December 3rd, right? But literally a week before her birthday, she was making bracelets. And it was custom bracelets. And she sold them for $50 a piece. She made $800 in one day at 5 years old.
Look at that little entrepreneur. I love it.
And you want to know what the biggest thing was? The biggest thing was that she woke up the next day and she said, I got to go take care of my clients. So she didn't want to do nothing but take care of her
love
clients.
it. I love it.
And so she came in here and she built out them bracelets.
That's cool.
And I was like, dang, somebody had to like instill laziness in people.
Mm-hmm.
For this, at that time, 5-year-old
Yes.
to be like, I got to go take care of my clients.
Yes.
She didn't want to go to school. She
Yes.
wanted to take care of her
I
clients.
love that. But also it's what she sees.
Yeah.
She sees that from her mom,
Yeah.
from her dad. And our kids
Yeah.
try to emulate us,
Yeah.
right? They watch us, whether we
Yeah.
know they're watching or not.
Yeah.
They emulate what they see.
Yeah.
So she did that because of good parenting.
I said, and that just made me realize, because, when the kid's so young, you get to like, okay, you get to start seeing stuff. You're like, wow, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
And then sitting here, did not complain, built out all those braces. And I said, what make you going so hard? She said, I love to see the reaction that the people have from wearing my bracelets. I love that they love it and they feel good. I said, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Journey.
I love that.
Right.
She's gonna be. Look, she might go into healthcare.
Well, she a fashionista, so, and she's the best dressed in her school. And I have no dress, no fashion. Her mom don't got no fashion. This girl got fashion.
Okay, so she has the little it factor.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
I love it.
So, but I want to thank you for showing up today and
Thank
just
you
for
so much.
giving to the people.
Thank you so much, and thank you for what you do.
Oh, thank you.
Like you're building people up too. Yeah. Like I love that. Anytime that we can help other people be the better version of themselves, the best that they can be.
Yeah.
That's all we can do.
I say leaders need somebody to help them lead.
Agreed. Absolutely. I love it.
I want to thank you for tuning in to the Content Aesthetic Show. And I want you to never give up, no matter what's going on, no matter what trials and tribulations, because everything that come in your life is there to build you for the next level, to give you the tools that you need to go to the next level. So if you're going through that thing where life is lifing, don't let today be the day you give up. Matter of fact, take it out. Go and serve. Go and help somebody else. So allow this episode to keep you going, to keep you thriving, to keep you scaling. I'm Dontel Antonio, and I want to thank you for tuning in.